start. So in this session, I am going to cover the remaining part of this unit number 3, that is Python libraries. In the last session, we have covered about the NumPy. What is NumPy? And we have familiar with the pandas. And again, we have seen one statistical method, that is how we can perform the data analysis. One of them that we have I have practically shown, that is descriptive analytics, how we can perform the descriptive analytics with the help of Python. What are the functions that I have shown you practically by using the Google Colab. So in this session, I'm going to cover the rest of the content of this unit. So basically, before I could start, let me ask you some questions regarding what we have learned in the last session. What is NumPy and what is pandas? And what is the difference between an array and a data frame? So if you guys can hear me and if you could answer the question, please unmute yourself, or else you can write your answer in the chat box as well. I just want to know, I just want to revise that what you have learned in the previous session for this particular class. I have explained about the NumPys. I have explained about the pandas, theoretically and practically as well. So now I want some feedback, some response from you guys, that what you have learned in the last session regarding the NumPy and pandas, and what is the difference between a data frame and an array. So guys, if I'm audible, Afreen, George, Nagraj. So what is an array and what is an data frame? What is the difference between these two, array and data frame? Yes, guys, I am waiting for your answer. I cannot move ahead without knowing what you have actually learned about array, about data frame, about NumPy, and about pandas. I want a feedback and I want the answer from you.
Sir, basically, array will be used for storing the homogeneous data, means similar kind of data. But for the data frame, we are using, we can store the heterogeneous data, means different data types we can store in a data frame. So that's the basic difference between array and the data frame.
Okay. With whom I am speaking here?
Varat Dangal.
Varat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct, absolutely correct. An array will allow you to store the same values. Means what? If I declare an array of integers, I can store only integer values. If I declare an array of, say, characters, I can store only strings or characters. If I declare an array of, say, float, then I can store only float numbers. Means what? An array always allows you to store only same values. You cannot mix, you cannot store different values in a single array, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
If you declare an integer array, you can only store integers. But a data frame, when you talk about data frame, we can store mixed values. We can store names, we can store marks, we can store addresses, we can store email ID in a data frame, isn't it? So now you tell me which library I can use for arrays and which library I have to use for data frame. Means what? In order to create an array, which library I need to import, and in order to create a data frame, which library I need to import.
For array NumPy we have to use, and for the data frame we have to use pandas.
Correct, absolutely correct. For NumPy, for say, for example, if I have to create an array, I have to import NumPy. But if I have to create a data frame, I need to import pandas. Okay. When you talk about arrays, arrays can be one-dimensional, it can be two-dimensional, or it can be multi-dimensional. But when you talk about the data frame is always two-dimensional, that is matrix, isn't it? Yeah, correct. Nagraj, NumPy for arrays, data frame for pandas, absolutely correct. Now tell me the application of data frame and the application of arrays. Application of array, where I can use array and where I can use data frame, isn't it? If I know the application of a particular tool or particular concept, then only I can use it, isn't it? I cannot use a particular tool for different purpose, isn't it? I say, for example, I cannot use a pen, a fountain pen, to write onto a digital device, isn't it? Because pen is not meant to be written on a digital device. I'm talking about the normal ball pen, isn't it? So it is not meant for writing on digital devices. The pen is meant for writing on the notepad only, or the pages. So the same way here. Now tell me the application of NumPy, sorry, the application of array and application of data frame. Yes, Bharat, Nagraj, application of array, application of data frame. Am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So basically, if you wanted to store a particular, let's say, music related data, only audio files I have to store, then array will be used in that. But in case of storing tabular data, means let's say I wanted to store employee data, wherein employee name, employee ID, various fields, and various kind of data types will be involved. That time I had to use a data frame.
Yeah, correct. But see that here we are in the subject of performing analytics, performing data analytics. So from the perspective of data analytics, where I can use array and where I can use data frame. You have given the information that is correct. That is the general application of array and data frame, isn't it? But if I talk about from the perspective of data analysis, so for which data analysis purpose I can use arrays, and for which data analytical purpose I can use data frames. So I will make it clear. So arrays are basically used for performing computational operations, data handling and retrieving. Arrays are basically used for performing some numerical operations, some mathematical operations. For that, I will use arrays. But data frames are used for data analysis. So, for example, cleaning the data, for example, reshaping the data. For data analysis, rather, as a whole, I can use data frames. If I have to analyze the data, I have to use data frames. And when I say data frames we have, it comes in a various forms. It can be in the form of a CSV file, isn't it? Comma separated values. It can be in the form of Excel file. So data frames are basically used to perform data analysis, data analytics, to infer the extracts in order to get the insights into a data. We cannot use arrays. In that case, we have to use the data frames. So the basic difference between arrays is for performing numerical computation or mathematical operations. But the scope of data frame is far from arrays. I can use data frame for data analysis purpose, for getting the insights into the data sets, for finding the anomalies, for removing the anomalies. I can use data frames. I cannot use arrays. And again, arrays are defined in NumPy, like you have rightly pointed out, and data frame is defined in Pandas. So Varad is saying data frame, they provide flexible data manipulation capabilities like sorting, filtering, grouping, and merging. Absolutely correct, Varad. This is what a data frame will provide you. It provides you many capabilities, like you can sort it, you can filter the data out, you can group the data, you can merge it, you can clean the data, you can find the anomalies, etc. So overall, in a single sentence, if I have to specify the difference between an array and a data set, or data frame rather, is that arrays are simply used for performing some numerical or mathematical operations, whereas data frame are used for data analysis, to perform various data analysis process or functions. If I have to perform a data analytic function, say for example, finding out the anomaly, finding out the duplicate values or the empty values, cleaning the data, filtering the data, sorting the data, reshaping the data, grouping the data. So for all these things, I have to use data frames. I cannot use arrays, as arrays cannot contain a mixed kind of data. But when I say a data set, we are working on data set. We are not working on a single column. Single column means having all the values are of same type. That is arrays. But here we are working on multiple columns, and multiple columns having different data types. How we can accommodate multiple data types by using arrays? It is not possible. So for that, we need to use a data frame. So data frame is used for data analysis, for performing data analysis functions, whereas arrays are used for performing only numerical operations or mathematical computations. That's it. So this is what we have covered. If you sum up the entire introduction to NumPy and its key features that I have just revisited, I have just recapped the NumPy and Pandas, and I have also practically shown you how we can create arrays by importing NumPys, and how we can create a data frame by importing the Pandas. Isn't it, guys? So if you have any questions regarding NumPy and Pandas, please go ahead, or else I will go to the next point in the session. So in the last session, if you could remember, I have covered about the descriptive statistics, how we can perform descriptive statistics with the help of Python functions. So basically, when you talk about the descriptive statistics summarizes and describes the main characteristics of a data set. It works on a historical data. In a descriptive statistics, we find the central tendency. We measure the central tendency of our data set. That is mean. What is mean? What is the mode, and what is the median of my data set that can be found out with this descriptive statistics. Again, we can find the variability, that is the range, the variance, and standard deviation. That is how far my each value in my data set is far from the mean, that is standard deviation. That we'll find with the help of the variance will find the spread or dispersion of the data. And other descriptive statistics includes percentile, quartile, and interquartile range. So these are the functions that we can perform in descriptive statistics. Again, I have practically demonstrated how we can perform, how we can find mean, median, mode, how we can find range, variance, and standard deviation. Now we come to the next point in this data analysis techniques using Python, that is data visualization. Data visualization is very important before you are going to the next step in data analysis. So data visualization will help you in understanding and exploring the data visually with the help of graphs. With the help of different graphs, we are trying to understand the characteristics of the data, or we are exploring the characteristics of data visually. That is by plotting, that is by graphs. That is called as data visualization. Like, say, for example, Matplotlib, Seaborn, these are the popular libraries which will provide you the various types of plots, such as the histograms, the box plots, scatter plots, and bar charts as well. So we can import the Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries, and we can create the various graphs, or we can plot the various types of plots such as histogram, box plot, scatter plot, and bar charts as well. I will show you practically how we can plot histogram, box plot, and scatter plot once I explain the theory part of this data visualization. So now, the visualizing the data will provide the insights into the distribution of data, how your data is being distributed, whether it is a normal distribution, whether it is a left skewed or right skewed. So that we can find by plotting your data by using these different plots or graphs. We can find out the patterns, we can find out the relationship, and again we can find out the outliers as well. So before actually going for the next step in data analysis, here we are visualizing the data with the help of the Matplotlib and Seaborn libraries. So with using these libraries, we can plot different graphs and plots, and with that we can get the insight into the data points in terms of how my data is distributed, what are the patterns of my data, what is the relationship, and what could be the possible outliers as well. So this is about data visualization. Now I'll move on to the practical part of the data visualization. So here I'm sharing the screen. Please let me know whether the screen is visible to you or not. So I'm sharing here the screen. I think yes, this is one. So guys, is it visible? Is my Google Colab page is visible to you? Is it visible? Visible. Thank you, George. So like I said, first we need to import the libraries like Matplotlib and Seaborn. So here I have imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. You can give any name here, but the name should be a close one, which is closely related to what you have imported. PLT stands for pyplot. Import Seaborn as SNS. So here I imported two libraries, matplotlib as PLT, and Seaborn as SNS. Next, I have imported the important thing, that is library, that is pandas as PD, in order to create a data frame, isn't it? So here I'm creating a data frame. I'm not using the built-in data set. I'm creating my own data set with the help of a data frame. So that's why here I have imported the pandas as PD. So now with the help of this pandas PD object, I can create a data frame from a dictionary, as you can see in the above code that I have highlighted here. So out of a dictionary which contains age as key and income as a value, I have created a data frame from this dictionary. So here I have given input to this pd.data frame. It's a function which is defined in pandas. So in order to call the functions of the pandas library, we need to refer the object of that pandas dot name of the function that you want to call. So here I want to create a data frame. So definitely I need to call the data frame function from the pandas library. As you can see here, I have written as a data is the name of my data set. You can give any name here. So data is equal to pd dot data frame. Data frame is the function, opening parenthesis, and in the curly brace, I have given the input as the dictionary. So once this statement will get executed, I am having the data frame or a data set with having age and income. Yeah. So once I have created the data frame, the next step is here. I am plotting this data frame by using matplotlib and Seaborn library. So first, I'm plotting the scatter plot. So the scatter plot, what is the use of scatter plot? Does anyone knows about the use of scatter plot? What scatter plot is used for? Guys, what scatter plot used for? The scatter plot is used for visualizing the relationship between two continuous variables. Remember this. So the application, the use of different plots like scatter plot, histogram, box plot, the pair plot, correlation heat map. So the purpose, the use of these different plots are different. We need to understand our application, and as per that, we have to use a specific plot. So for example, if I'm using a scatter plot, means what? I want to understand the relationship between two continuous variables. So here I'm using the scatter plot in order to understand the relationship between two continuous variables. So as you can see, the object of this scatter plot is PLT. As you can see here, I have imported the matplotlib. The scatter plot is defined in matplotlib. Remember this. Scatter plot is defined in matplotlib library. So here I'm using the object of that scatter plot, that matplotlib, that is PLT. Dot is the operator. Scatter is the name of the function. And to this scatter, I'm providing the key and value. I'm providing the key and value, that is data as age and data as income. So I'm providing key and value. Okay. After that, I'm giving a title to my plot with the help of title function, that is plt.title. So what title I'm giving here? I can give it in a single inverted comma or a double inverted comma. This is nothing but a string that defines the title for my scatter plot, that is scatter plot of age versus income. I want to find out the relationship between the income and the age and income with the help of I want to visualize the relationship between age and income by using the scatter plot. So after that, for X label, I'm giving the label name as age, and Y label, I'm giving the label as income. With the help of the X label and Y label function of the scatter plot, that is plt.x label as age and plt.y label as income. After that, here I'm calling the function show so that the plot will be actually visible. It is actually drawn onto my screen. So when I execute this code snippet, what would be the output? The output would be something like this, as you can see on the screen, like the scatter plot of age versus income. That is the title of my plot. And as you can see on the X bar, you can see the age, and Y label, you can see the income. So this is my Y label, you can see the income, and on X, you can see the age. So here you can find out yourself what is the relationship between the age and the salary. Okay, so this is about the scatter plot, how we can plot the values by using the scatter plot. The next is a histogram. So what is the use of histogram? Histograms are basically displays the distribution of a single variable by dividing it into beans. So here I want to see the distribution of the single variables, how the variables are distributed in my data set. That is what I can show here with the help of a histogram. And again, this histogram is defined in matplotlib library as well. So as you can see that here, I'm still using the object of matplotlib, that is plt, and I'm calling the function that is hist, that is name of the function which has been defined in matplotlib. So plt.hist, again here I'm passing the parameters which are required by this hist function, that is the key value, that is age. Bins, I want to have 10 bins. I want to divide my entire data into 10 bins. Color you can specify, and age color also you can specify here. So after that, I'm giving a title with the help of the title function. I'm defining the X label. So here I'm defining okay. So here I have defined this histogram. I'm giving the title. I'm giving the name to my X label, and I'm giving a name to my Y label as well. So X label will contain the age, and the Y label will contain the frequency. After that, I'm calling the function that is show, so that a histogram can be visible onto my screen. So when I execute this code snippet, I will see a histogram which consists of age and the salary. So here, if you want to find out how your data has been distributed into beans, you can use the histogram of age. So as you can see here on my X bar, I have defined the age, and on my Y bar, you can see the the salaries of my data set. As you can see here, Y label contains the frequency, and X label will contain the age. So Y label contains the frequency. In terms of frequency, I have defined the salary here, and this is age that is defined on X bar. So this is about the histogram. The next thing or next plot is box plot. So the use of box plot Give me a minute. Yeah. So sorry for the interruption, guys. So again, I need to share a screen here. Yeah. Yeah. I hope the screen is still visible to all of you. So now the next thing is that how I can use a box plot and what is the use of a box plot. So the box plot provides a summary of the distribution, indicating the median, quartiles, and outliers. So the box plot will provide you the summary of distribution, includes median, quartile, and outliers. That is the purpose of defining or plotting a box plot. So how I can plot a box plot? Now we can see here the box plot has been defined in Seaborn. It is defined in Seaborn. So that's why I think somebody is not on mute. Please mute yourself.
Yes, sir. Before we go to the box plot on the histogram,
Yeah.
you had specifically indicated the colors for age and the income. But I think the only the color for income blue came out, but the black wasn't in the histogram. Why was that?
See that basically the histogram is used to display the distribution of single variable by dividing it into bins. So now if you come to the histograms here, yeah. So I'm providing the age, okay, and I'm providing the title. I'm providing X label as age and Y label as a frequency. If you can see that here, I have only given the age. I have not given the second thing, that is income, isn't it? As you can see for this scatter plot, I have given age as a data and income. Histogram, what is the purpose of histogram? To see that how my data is distributed. So here for histogram, I have given only a single data, that is age, that is only I'm giving only age. I'm not given the second data, that is income, because the histogram will not accept the two parameters. Here I'm I just want to show how my age, how the age is distributed. So that's why you are finding only single color. Are you getting my point? So this is age and this is frequency. So as you can see here, one more time, while calling the function pld.hist, I have supplied only age. I have divided this age into 10 bins. Now I want to see how this age is distributed. On the contrary, if you have seen this scatter plot, I have provided age and data. That's why I've said that you need to understand the purpose. Scatter plot are used to display, to know the relationship between two continuous variable. What is the relationship between the age and income? That you can see here with the help of a scatter plot. But the use of histogram is entirely different. Here, I just want to see the distribution of data, how the age has been distributed over frequency. What is the frequency of 22.5 age? What is the frequency of 25? What is the frequency of 40 age? So that here I'm just showing here. Means what? How my data is distributed. That is what I just here try to explore visually with the help of a histogram. So that's why here you are finding only a single color, that is age. You're getting my point? So on the contrary, suppose that here I will provide as, instead of age, I will provide say as income. Now I'm providing it as income. I'm changing from age to income. Please note this. So now here I have given income to this histogram. Now you can see the income over the frequency. Yeah, so it has been done. Now you can see that the histogram of income. So actually I have not changed the title, so that's why you're seeing it as age. But this is 45,000, 50,000, 55,000, 60,000, 65,000, 70,000, 75,000, and 80,000. What is that frequency? How many times they have happened in my data set? That is what I'm showing here. So that's why you see only a single color at a time. Am I clear?
Yes, sir, you are clear. I think where the issue was is on the color, you have said color sky blue, and then edge color black.
Yes. I have set it as color as. Yes.
But then the result is only showing sky blue.
Yeah, because I have set the color as sky blue and the edge color as gray. So that's why you're seeing only as a single color. That is edge color as black, sorry. So the color of this, my bars that I have set as blue. So that's why you're seeing as a color as sky blue. So now, see, that's what I said, that we need to understand the purpose of each of these plots. As scatter plots are used for understanding the relationship between two continuous variables. What is the relationship between age and salary? So for that, here I have plot the scatter plot, isn't it? So this is the use of scatter plot, which will give you the insight about the relationship between age and salary. But for the use of histogram is to see the distribution of your data. That is the use of histogram. Now you'll see the use of box plot. What is the use of box plot? The box plot will provide you the summary of the distribution, indicating median, quartiles, and outliers. That is the use of a box plot. So how to draw a box plot? So box plot are defined in the Seaborn library. So here I need to use the object of Seaborn, that is SNS dot box plot is the function, and to that I'm giving the, for X bar I'm giving the data of age, and here I'm giving the title as box plot of age, and I'm showing with the help of plt.show so that the box plot can be visible on my screen, can be drawn on my screen. So here I'm giving the box plot the data as of only age. So the box plot now will give me the data in terms of a summary, that is summary of distribution, indicating the median, quartiles, and outliers. So when you execute that, you can see the box plot. So this is how you can plot a box plot. Next is a pair plot. What is the use of pair plot? The pair plot are used to show the pairwise relationship between multiple variables in a data set. So if you want to show the pairwise relationship between multiple variables, I can go with the pair plot. So how I can draw a pair plot? So I will show you the code here. Again, the pair plot is been defined in Seaborn library. So that's why I need to use the object of Seaborn, that is SNS dot pair plot. I'm providing the data set, entire data set here. As you can see here, data, because I want to know the relationship pairwise. So here I can go for pair plot. As the name suggests, you can find out what is the relationship between two pairs. So for that, here I have provided the entire data set to this SNS dot pair plot function. So after that, here I'm giving a title as a pair plot of age and income, and I will call the function that is PLT, that is show, so that I can give a title to my pair plot, and the graph can be visible. So here I'm executing the code. So when I execute the code, I will get the pair plot of age and income. As you can see here, this is how the age and income of pairs, in terms of pairs, how they are related. So this is about pair plot. Now the last one, that is correlation heat map. So the correlation heat map defines or displays the correlation between variables using a color-coded matrix. So here I'm using the color-coded matrix in order to represent the correlation between variables. So in order to represent the correlation between variables, I can go for the correlation heat map. So how to draw a correlation heat map? So as you can see that here, a color code is used in order to represent the correlation between the variables. So here, the correlation heat map is defined in Seaborn library. But for that, first I need to call the data.corr so that I can create the object of correlation matrix. So here I have called the function that is data.corr. After that, I am drawing the heat map with the help of SNS.heatmap, and to this heat map, I am providing the object of the correlation map, that is correlation underscore matrix. As you can see here, I have called the CORR function so that I can find the correlation between variables, and that correlation between variables is been created, and the object is been stored in correlation underscore matrix object, and this correlation matrix object is been given to the SNS heat map so that I can create the correlation heat map. And to display the map, I'm calling the plt.show. So when you call the function plt.show, you will see a diagram, a graph of correlation heat map, which is represented in a color code, which will show you the correlation between variables. So this is about data visualization, how we can perform data visualization with the help of Python libraries or with the help of Python functions. Basically, two libraries which are used prominently, that is Matplotlib and Seaborn. And using these two libraries, we can draw different graphs or different plots, like scatter plot, like box plot, like the correlation heat map, or the pair plot graph as well. So this is about data visualization. which will give you the insights about the patterns, the insights, or you can explore the characteristics of your data, like the outliers, like the patterns of your data. So this is about data visualization. Now we'll move on to the next concept in this session, that is hypothesis testing. So we'll move on to hypothesis testing.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have one question, sir. Doubt. Actually, we are using two libraries like Matplotlib and one more Seaborn.
Yeah.
Is it means in one library we are not using all the histogram, power plot, all the things? Means we have to import both at a time, or one is enough?
I'm not getting your question. Can you type your question in the chat box?
No, sir. Actually, my question is that, okay, you said two libraries we have to use for visualization. One is for Matplotlib block, one more is Seaborn.
Yeah.
Okay. If I use only one library, is enough for data visualization? Is it we have to use both?
See that. Okay, I will go to, again, I have to go to the code. Why I need both libraries? I will justify this.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. Okay. So now you are saying that why can't I use why can't I import single library? Why I am importing two libraries? This is the question.
Yes, sir. Yes. Why can't it use with only one library? Why we have to use both? Yeah.
Okay. I got your question. Now you can see that here. For scatter plot, I need Matplotlib. For drawing scatter plot, I need Matplotlib. As you can see here, plt.scatter. I'm using the object of the plot Matplotlib or Matplotlib. And for histograms also, I'm using the Matplotlib. But for the boxplotlib, as you can see here, but for drawing the box plot, we have to import the Seaborn. Again, see that it is up to you what graph, what is the application, what you want to show. So as per your application, you can draw different graphs. So for example, why box plot is used? What is the use of a box plot? Box plot will provide you a summary of distribution indicating median, quartile, and outliers. What is the use of a scatter plot? Scatter plots are used to show or to visualize the relationship between two continuous variables. So as per the application, you can import any of these libraries. It is not compulsory that both the libraries should be imported. But again, saying this, that here, if I want to draw a correlation heat map, so in that case, you can see that I'm using the object of Matplotlib, and again I'm using the object of the Seaborn as well. As you can see here, SNS represents Seaborn, PLT represents Matplotlib. So in order to draw a correlation heat map, we have to have import two libraries, that is Seaborn and Matplotlib as well. So it is not compulsory that two libraries should be imported every time. It depends on the application, that what you want to visualize. So am I clear with this query?
Yes, sir.
Guys, is it clear? Okay. So shall I think his time is over. Only one concept that I have covered in this session, that is data visualization. So anyway, before I close this session, I would like to give you the feedback form for this session, and I request all the learners who are present in this session to give your feedback by filling this Google form. So I think the Google form is visible to all of you guys. And I request you to give your feedback by filling up the Google form. Your suggestions, your advice, your queries are always welcome. But if you have any queries regarding this session, please go ahead and ask. And I believe that the queries should be solved online rather than putting them into a Google form. But that will also fine, but it will take some time to address those issues or those questions. But if you ask your questions in this session, it will get cleared immediately, isn't it? Say, for example, if you do not understand any concept, you can please go ahead and ask and put your queries in the chat box, isn't it? Just writing that the session is not understandable, is not clear, it's not enough, guys. Please try to understand. Please put yourself in my shoes and try to understand that if you do not ask the questions, if you do not put your questions in the chat box, how I could able to understand that, how I could able to know that what concept that you have understood and what concept that you did not understood. You're getting my point, isn't it? Some learners they are writing that the session was not clear or the examples are not enough. But I request you, instead of writing such comments in Google form, you should have asked it in the online session. You should have put that same questions or same remarks in the chat box so that I can immediately address and answer, isn't it? Teaching and learning is always a two-way communication. It cannot be a single way, guys. Please remember that. When I explain something, you need to acknowledge it by some way or the other, by asking a question, by putting your remarks in the chat box. So teaching and learning is a two-way communication process. It cannot be one way, isn't it? If you ask questions, then I will answer. If you have asked the questions, suppose that I did not answer that question, then the remark that you would write in the Google form would be justified. I think you are getting my point, what I want to say here. So better ask your questions in the online session. Better put your questions in the chat box rather than putting those questions, those remarks in Google form. So with this, I would like to conclude the session here. Thank you everyone for joining this session. Till we meet the next time, it's a very good day for you. Thank you everyone for joining this session. See you next time. Until then, goodbye.